Hey, Alan here from Camping Parents. So, we're just getting our start camping, and we're looking at a lot of things like on Pinterest and just on other YouTube channels to find out what are the essentials, because they don't really tell you at the stores. They say, here, you're hooked up, you're ready to go. But then you get out there, you're like, all right, need a couple Walmart trips now. So anyway, I wanted to share a couple things that we found that we really need to get started, and some things that I just don't have yet that we're gonna get. So one of the things we want to get, of course, is a cordless we call it the leaf blower, to have that, because when you have your mat down, if there's sand on it, it makes it really easy instead of brushing it off all the time. If you're going to be by the mountains or like a lake or a beach, you're going to constantly get sand and dirt. So also the thing you want to get, this is from Walmart, you might be able to find another one online. This is one of the rugs. It folds out, goes over your whole campground, and it has it's almost like a plastic material, but the sand and dirt will go through it a little bit, but easy to sweep and get very clean. So also here, just gonna walk around the car real quick. So on ours we have a Wolf Pup Limited, and obviously we got our hitch all ready to go. We have our the anti-sway bar is not on there yet, but then this right here, the Elite Easy Lift bars, so those are going to go on once I connect everything. So you just want to go through that and make sure that's all connected up. We did have an issue here. Make sure that this door for your water heater is indeed locked. You can pull out on it here. This is the 16 BHS Wolf Pup. Pull out and lock it down. Before we drove, it actually was not totally locked, fell down. The screen fell out, so I had to order another screen, just some other things. We have our pipes connected. So one thing with the pipes, what I will recommend is definitely get one that's long enough, 25 feet, because they expand out. You can put them in the bumper, but you'll want some type of Tupperware also to store some of the pieces from that. It's like a locking Tupperware, because if it's not totally washed out, it's going to smell. So, make sure that's happening. Also with ours here, we just have a city water connection and a fresh water. So the other day we set up the city water and I was getting water in the freshwater tanks. Well, it turns out I had the pump on, so the pump was kind of using a backflow into the fresh water. You don't need the pump on, you can use the pressure from the city water. Now, talking about pressure, I don't have a water filter on here or a pressure regulator. Now, what a lot of people recommend, and what we see on almost every camper here, is not only a filter, because you're going to want to drink that water probably, which they're about $20 or so on Amazon, Walmart, probably Camping World. They last for about 6 months. It's a carbon filter, essentially the same idea like they have on your refrigerator. So that plugs into the end of the hose, goes into here, and then the regulator will keep your constant pressure, because the city water pressures could be all over the place and you don't want to blow out your lines. So those I found on Amazon, 12 bucks. I think the brand Camco, CAMCO, also makes them. I'm gonna pick one of those up to make sure that pressure is regulated, we're not blowing out lines. So another thing here, make sure you have your wheel chocks. At first I started with 2. I said that's good, and then we went somewhere. I go, oh, that's not good. I need one on each side of the wheel. Make sure it's not going anywhere. And then also here, these ones, they have a manual crank for this, but I just bought a thing off eBay, goes into my cordless drill, and you can do it just like that. The thing was like $6, makes it a lot easier. Now keep in mind, you really don't want to use those for too much leveling. You want to just really use these as stabilizers. A lot of stuff that we read online, they try to review some of the stuff with us while we were at Camping World, but being first-time campers, it's a lot of things that we're going to pick up on, and you're going to pick up on well. Also, make sure that you do have a long enough cable. This is a 25-foot cable, I think came with it, but we ended up buying another one. Camping World on sale was the cheapest with our Good Sam membership, but you can always find one also on Walmart. Make sure you know what your voltage is, what you're hooking up to, because if you plug a 50 amp into a 30 amp, you're going to blow everything out. So make sure you know really what you're working with. A lot of them, places that we've been, might only have one or the other, so make sure you ask. This station actually has 20, 30, and 50 amp options, so you got that. Another big thing is when you start with this, make sure the power in the breaker right here is a breaker up top. Make sure that breaker's off. You don't want to be working with live power. So we have our gray water and our black water line, and this is our just a line. I had to put an extender on it because at first I bought the smaller one, but it seems like the drains are pretty much all over the place. And now what I'll do here, even with the extender, is, typically I leave this stuff open, but towards the end of our stay, I'll close them off, get the black tank pretty full, and then also get the gray water tank pretty full, which is just like your dishwater. I'll drain the black water, close that off, and then I'll drain the gray water and drop that all out, and that will clean the lines really well. Just don't open the black water again once you're done. That's pretty much it for that. You can disconnect it. I wear gloves. It's up to you, but you never want to get into a crappy situation, if you know what I mean. Also, right here, you'll see these pop out. A lot of the campers have this, and you can store your hoses for your gray and black water in there. I did have a piece of the hose actually get stuck in the middle, and it was actually really hard to get, but once I pushed the hose back through it, it was fine. So this is also one of the Tupperware things that I picked up. It has the grasp on the side. They probably have other ones that actually have a full seal on it, but these are just like some of the pieces that I wash off before we get going, and then store it in there because some of those pieces, those end pieces, will not fit in here. Besides that, we have obviously our other wheel. Another big thing that we see online, so when you have your awning, make sure the awning is closed. If you're going to walk away, we see a lot of people, they'll walk away, big wind gust will come, will rip it right off the side of the camper. Very, very big thing, make sure you close that. I see that time and time again, even from being newbies, see it on all the Facebook groups. That's another thing, join a lot of the Facebook groups, all the RV groups. Here's another little Camco thing. Find out what your furnace is, and this is an insect guard. A little bit of a pain to put on here, but you can pick them up on Amazon, Walmart, Camping World, any of those places. So you put it on, just make sure that the insects don't go in and out. This one also has our TV mount. We actually mounted our own TV inside. Do not buy it from any of the major stores. Just go on Amazon, eBay, find one that's cheap, put it up, whether it's a swivel or a standard TV mount, you can just work with that. Just keep in mind, when you do that, you don't want to drill and go right through these walls, because that would be a real pain. So what you want to do is, I went and bought the smaller screws or smaller lugs to get in there. I think they were only maybe a 1/4 inch, maybe. They were not very big, because the TV we have inside here is only 24 inch TV. So very, very light, but easy to use. And of course, didn't have to go through. Pre-drilled it a little bit, and we were ready to go. One other thing they'll show you right here is just make sure when you're driving that this is closed. You don't want any insects, bugs, anything getting in there while you're going or flapping around. Also, your stairs should be all put away. And then, of course, we're gonna lock this up as well, make sure everything's locked and ready to go. So that's just a quick walk around of our Wolf Pup 16 BHS, which is the bunkhouse. I'll do another video inside, but for the most part, that's a lot of the things that we found so far that are some of the essentials. You want things like, obviously, a nice sweeping broom. Some people say a collapsible ladder that you can put underneath, things like that. So as we find more things that we think should be included, we're going to share that with you, especially since we're camping parents. We want to share things with you that you're going to need with not only the dogs, but what else will you need with the kids. Everything from specific toiletries or just things to play with if you're going to a lake or a beach. We want to share all that. Same thing with food. What do you do for storage for food? So those are all things that we're going to share. More to come. I'm Alan from Camping Parents right here on YouTube. We will see you soon. Make sure you subscribe right here on YouTube and also on Facebook. And feel free to shoot us a message from your favorite campground. We'll see you.